Hello, I'm Bernard Hickey from Sth.co.nz and welcome to a special housing report. Today we look at figures from Barfoot and Thompson for February. Now, it's worth watching these, even though it's just one real estate agent, because they're the first on the market. And Barfoot and Thompson is the biggest in Auckland, and of course, Auckland being the biggest market in the country and tending to lead the activity around the country, it's worth watching. Figures out for February show 764 sales in February. That's up 23% from a year ago. The average house price sold was $536,069. Now that's up 1.2% from January and up 2.7% from a year ago. Now let's go to the charts, which we have at the bottom of the article underneath the video that you're watching here now. This is an interactive chart of Barfoot's sales, which includes a number of tabs, and you can see here the number sold. It's been trending up for the last couple of years. However, when you take it back and have a look at the longer term, you can see that sales have actually been trending down from the boom times up here around the 1,000 a month mark, and now we're down to that 764 in February. So up from a year ago, but still well down on the boom time. However, these averages disguise some big moves in volumes and in prices in various different areas. If you have a look at what's happening in South Auckland, there was actually a real boom in the number of sales, up 82% to 122 in February. However, the prices were flat, so a lot more volume going through, but it's not really pushing prices up. The same in West Auckland, volumes were up 37%, but prices were actually down a touch. The real action in price terms is happening in the central suburbs. Now that's Mount Eden, Epsom, Remuera, Parnell, that sort of area. Sales were flat at a 109, not a lot of property coming onto the market, but the average price up 13.5%, and a significant number of properties sold for more than $1 million. In fact, the highest since 2007 in February. Also for the eastern suburbs, we're talking St Heliers, Mission Bay, that sort of thing, volumes were down, but prices up 22.6% from a year ago. It's interesting too that some houses which were put onto the market late last year and through January have actually dropped off the market, so they didn't actually sell. And our analysis of the figures show there were 637 dropouts in February. That's up from 165 in January. However, February does tend to be a dropout month when a lot of properties that have been sitting there on the market for a long time, they decide after the summer to take them off. However, it's interesting, the rate of dropouts is the highest since July 2009 at 13.5%. The big picture here, obviously things are heating up in price terms in some central parts of Auckland, particularly those areas where people are looking for established houses that aren't leaky. There's a shortage of those sorts of houses coming onto the market, and a lot of migrants, particularly those expats and those coming with money from the rest of the country, come to that central Auckland area. And prices are quite strong there, obviously rising at double-digit rates in those central suburbs, eastern suburbs areas. However, volumes are up in the rest of Auckland, but not really showing through in prices yet. We'll see what happens. Obviously, leaky buildings is an issue in Auckland, and numbers out today also show that net migration in Auckland, it's the only part of the country where we're seeing actual net migration. Overall, New Zealand is seeing net emigration, which is a concern overall for the housing market. I'm Bernard Hickey. That was a special housing report for Sth.co.nz.